college football, you think SEC, you always look forward to that LSU matchup. I remember when we played them back in 2000, 2004. When Coach Saban was there, we was 2-2 against each other.
Right.
And you just never know what's going to happen in that game. We've had the game where the Coliseum caught on fire while the game was going on.
I remember
we
that,
we
right.
had the earthquake game in LSU. We've had the 6 interception game where LSU was up and threw 6 pick sixes for, for touchdowns for Auburn, and they
Right.
came back. And then we had the 04 game, we hit Courtney Taylor in the back of the end zone, and then one of the guys jump over after we missed the extra point. One guy jumps over, and that's when they just changed that rule. And we got a chance to re-kick it, and we got an interception to end that game. So it's just wild things that just happen in this series, and it's like, are we really gonna take this game, out of the matchup year? Like, yes, you have Auburn, Alabama. Yes, you have Auburn and Georgia, but that Auburn LSU game is circled every year as well. And to not play that at all, I'm just sure like LSU fans are probably we playing each other since 1991, and these games have been epic. What about the 1-second game when that went down to the end in Auburn when LSU scored a touchdown? I thought they had won the game.
Yeah, you're talking about the Demetrius Byrd, Matt
Yeah.
Flynn, like back in the end zone. And then
Yeah.
I'm thinking about when Cam Newton went
Yeah.
off in 2010 in the long run. I mean, like
Yeah.
those, and then Bo Nix having the same type of success against LSU in Death Valley. Ed Orgeron, what really and truthfully, what's crazy, put the dagger in Orgeron's heart when he got fired. I mean, everything, it usually always comes down to the last second. Now, you talked about being 2-2 against LSU. I got to ask you, what's your fondest memories of that matchup?
Oh man, I tell you what, we played them in 2002 here, and it was kind of a rainy game, and I was a sophomore. We had a really good game, but then that 04 season, man, I'm telling you, like that was one of the hardest hitting football games I've ever been a part of, college and pro. Like even playing the pros, it's about 25 NFL athletes on the field in that game that played on Sundays. And you're talking about guys that just landed on the line, guys that just crushing each other, just hard hitting, one of those low scoring physical football games because both defenses was very excel. Both offenses was good, but defense wins championships. And it was one of those type of games that if you love football, like it wasn't gonna be a high score and shootout firework. It was one of those hard nosed, every play counts, every down counts in the second half. You couldn't punt because if you punt, game's probably over. So, kudos to that game, man. But that was one of my biggest memories playing in that SEC against LSU was you knew if you can win that game, you had a chance to get to the SEC championship and the national championship.
Well, I remember Ronnie Brown in that game and 02
Yeah.
going off. And I think, who was it? Trey Smith. Wasn't it Trey that went off in that game?
Yeah, 02 was Trey, was Ronnie, because Cadillac didn't play in that game for some reason. I think it was
the epic hamstring, baby. The
yeah,
epic
hamstring,
right?
yeah. I think it might have been Trey, and then Robert Johnson had a big game in the tight end,
Right.
in that game, and I think our defense, Carlos Danza had a pick. I remember that, but it was it was a slugfest, and one of those games where you knew Coach Saban, he was going to come back epic the next year. We went down to LSU, and I remember them rocking our bus and everything, and couldn't wait to get out there and play. And then that first quarter was a really strong, hard hitting game, and then all of a sudden we had the lightning delay.
Right.
And after the lightning delay, it was so long. By the time we got back on the field, the energy wasn't the same, and we ended up losing that game. I believe it was like 28-13 or something, but 27-13. But overall, man, LSU has just been a great, great fun rivalry. Even the years after I left, I used to keep up with that game, and it was always one of those hard hitting. I think one of them was 6-3,
Right.
like 2 years later, like a
Right.
6-3 game. So
Right.
you just never know.